is like really important to do to keep you clean. I don't know if you knew that, but if you didn't, now you do. So that's a cool thing. Okay, I think we can get started. So I think I was gonna start with like the thing that's gonna be the least messy because we only have one cutting board. So I was gonna start with the parsley and kind of chopping that up. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of try to line your stalks up as best you can so they're all facing one direction. Actually, I think I'm gonna flip mine this way. And for this dish, we're not gonna use the parsley stalks. We're gonna end up cutting them off. I wouldn't cut them off yet, just so you have something to kind of hold on to, use as your grip. But you can use them and save them for like boiling in the stock of a soup, or you can throw them away, or you can compost them, whatever you do. So we're gonna just start kind of by holding onto the stalks, using that as kind of your anchor, and you're gonna kind of loosely start to slice up the parsley in one way, in one direction. And I'm gonna put my stalks over here. And if you see little pieces of stalk, it's not a huge deal if they end up in your dish, but try to get them out as best you can. All right, I love parsley. Also another Jewish-related ritual for Pesach. Okay, and then the next step, not to rush anybody, take your time. It's very important to take your time with cutting, but the next step would be to rotate your parsley to the side. Let me, you can see more what I'm doing. And just, we want to get the parsley in kind of like these fine pieces. So you're going to want to chop them again in the next direction. And it's okay, this isn't a perfect science. They don't have to be all exactly the same size, but the idea is we're trying to get them all into sort of smaller pieces. So if you see some bigger pieces, that's okay. Just kind of run your knife through them a little bit. Try to get them. And then I think we're gonna spin them, give them a little twist one more time, this direction. And we're gonna slice it up again. Now the thing about Israeli salad is it's really wonderful the way you can sort of customize it your own way. The recipe we're using today, a lot of traditional Israeli salad has like red onions or something like that, but we're not using onions in this recipe today. But if in the future you'd like to, definitely go ahead. I've also seen recipes where people add bell peppers, like red or green, or yellow or orange, whatever color floats your boat, tastes delicious. Green peppers can tend to be a little more bitter, so I usually prefer not to eat them raw. I prefer to cook them and things, but everyone has their preferences. That is totally a-okay. So I think my parsley is about as finely chopped up as I'd like it to be. I think are people on the same page?
Some finely chopped parsley.
What if you don't have parsley and you have dried parsley?
If you have dried parsley, definitely, we don't need to chop that up, but I would just say add that later. We're gonna add that later to the dish as like more
like a topping.
No, you'll mix it in later.
Yeah, yeah. You'll mix it in as your we also have salt and pepper that we can add in, so we're gonna just like sprinkle that on. That will be fine. Okay, I'm gonna add my parsley to my mixing bowl, like so. Scraping it. Got a few stalks in there, but that's okay. Just a happy accident, you know. Sorry about the, excuse my cutting board scraping sound. It's not the prettiest sound ever. Okay. Oh, that smells delicious already. I'm very excited. Okay. Oh, I missed some. Don't want to waste. Okay,
What's the next step?
let's start with the cucumbers.
Heck yeah.
We want to get these into little pieces. We're going to about like finely dice the tomato and the cucumber. So we're going to slice the ends off. And then we're going to start cutting it. We're going to cut it into 4 pieces lengthwise. So it might be better to sort of watch what I'm doing before you start, just so you know what I mean. So I'm going to just take this, make sure to be really mindful of the knife and your hands. So we're cutting it into 1 piece lengthwise, another piece lengthwise, right down the middle, and 1 more piece lengthwise. So right now I have like 4 skinny long cucumber slices, and I'm gonna take the 2, I'm gonna break it into a half. I'll show you guys in a second what I mean. So it's opening up like this because it didn't cut all the way through, but that's okay. It will in a minute. So I'm gonna put my halves seed open, cut side down, and have the cucumber part up here. And I'm gonna start cutting each little section, each half. I'm gonna cut into 3 pieces lengthwise. So I'm gonna make 2 cuts. So I make 1 cut lengthwise, like this. I'm gonna make 1 more cut lengthwise, like so. And here is the part where I'm gonna start cutting it into little cubes down the cucumber. So this is the first half, and we're just gonna start going like this. Now, the same thing as the parsley. If they're not all the same size, no big deal. Another thing I love about cooking is that you can really kind of change things to the way you like it. You know, you don't always have to follow the recipe exactly as it shows. And if you see a few bigger chunks, you can kind of have them. That's what I'm doing. Pieces that I think are a little too big for my liking. I don't know, some people like to follow the recipe exactly as it's written. Some people don't like any recipes at all. I lean more to the side of like no recipes, you know? Like, of course we're following a recipe right now, but I like to follow a recipe the first time that I make a dish, and then I like to customize as I go. Yeah, and as you're getting to the end of the cucumber, just be mindful of your hands and your knife and your fingers. Always very important to pay attention as you're cutting, no matter how old you get.
Hey,
All right.
Ruby,
Yeah.
could you move your cutting board forward just a little bit? Because if I want to show the close-up of the cucumbers, it's hard to see. That's all. Just move the cutting board towards the computer. Yeah, perfect. Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yeah, I'm seeing a few pieces that I think are a little too big. This section, a little too big for my liking. Okay. That is 1 half. And I'm gonna start doing the next half. And we have 1 more cucumber where we're just gonna do the exact same thing. So just slicing down it. And the lengthwise cut. Keeping your cucumber and your fingers as sturdy as possible. Perfect.
Is anyone else super excited to eat this?
I'm so excited to eat this. It's such a fresh salad, you know. I love anything that has like lemon juice in the dressing.
Mhm.
And perfect size. All right. First cucumber is good to go. I'm gonna add it to my mixing bowl, and we're gonna do the next one just the same way that we did it. I can go through the steps again. almost had a runaway cucumber. If the slices, or the cubes, I guess, more like, don't completely slice all the way through and they're a little stuck together, that's okay. When we mix it all together with the dressing and everything, they're gonna unclump just fine. Or you can always use your either your hands or your spoon to do that. So no worries. Easy peasy. I'm seeing all these big chunks that got stuck together. Ah! Lost a few to my table. Oh, I lost one to my lap. That one's gonna have to go in the trash. And oh, this is so exciting. The bowl is filling up. All right, next cucumber. And just a reminder, we slice off the ends. And we do the 4 sections. So 1 section lengthwise. Good to go. 2 sections. And 1 more cut.
Good so far.
And down the middle, take them apart. And then we're going to do those 3 pieces lengthwise again. So we just made 2 cuts to cut it into 3 pieces lengthwise. 1 cut and the second cut. Same thing with the other half. And dice again, or finely dice. Oh. And the last one.
Now, Ruby, what's your trick for like not eating this? This all looks so good. How do you not eat it all before you put it in the bowl?
You know, I actually do have a bad habit of like snacking a lot as I'm cooking. And to like promote cleanliness, especially when I'm like sauteing something, which is my favorite mode of cooking.
Mhm.
Fun fact. I'm like wheeling my knife crazily. Not a good thing to do in the kitchen. But I'll like take my cooking spoon and I'll like taste it, but then I can't put it back because I'm cooking for other people.
Right.
I put it in the sink and I get a new cooking spoon like 5 minutes later to see how it tastes, but I'm really snacking. I take another spoonful and then I have to put that in the sink and I just keep doing that. So that's my bad habit, but at least I'm being clean. That's my only defense for why I do that.
All right.
Yeah, just like it's as long as you keep, you know, your hands clean and your surfaces clean. If you snack a little bit, that's okay. But I do think that like especially English cucumbers and like these beefsteak tomatoes are like so delicious, uncooked, undressed. I could just like pop all these cucumbers in my mouth right now. So thank you, Aaron, for acknowledging the struggle.
Yeah, I've been snacking the entire time.
Okay, now we're gonna add these to the bowl too. while you're doing whatever you're doing right now, finishing cutting or adding stuff to your bowl, just think for a moment, like what's your favorite like thing to use to season your food? You don't have to share it yet because I know everyone's super busy, and we'll get to this later, but I'll start by sharing mine. I don't know if I could pick like one favorite, but I guess I would have to say my favorite group of seasonings is like a Mexican like inspired type of seasoning base. Like I love cooking with chili powder and paprika and cumin and cayenne pepper. I really like spicy foods. I don't know if you guys like spicy foods, but I also really like to use lemon, and I like basil and parsley. I like everything. Black pepper is amazing. We're gonna use that later. They used to call it the king of spices because it was really expensive and everyone wanted to use it to season their food because it makes everything taste so much better. Salt is also very important though. It adds a nice flavor and it brings out the flavor in other things. So that's like another cooking fun fact. If you want to like neutralize, you love spicy. I see you, Avital. Spicy sisters. Okay. Is everyone good with the cucumbers? Or we need a minute?
Everyone give a thumbs up if you're done with the cucumbers and ready to move on to tomatoes.
That's okay. I can keep, oh, we're good.
Oh, Ethan's good, great.
Now, tomatoes, I recently have found this interesting cooking hack to cut tomatoes because one thing, I love tomatoes, but they can kind of not be so fun to cut. They get kind of juicy. Sometimes they're great in dishes, but so I found this really cool method. So we're gonna start by, we're just gonna cut a little bit of the top off to get that stem out of there. But if a little bit ends up in your dish again, that's okay. Here, wait. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try to flatten that off as best we can. A little bit of the stem is still there, that's okay. So, and then we're going to start cutting it. We want this, the bottom piece, to be down. And so this method, you may want to watch what I'm doing before you do it. The way that I like to do it, which is so easy, is you start making slices in it, but you don't cut all the way through. So let me show you what I mean. I start doing this, where you see the tomato is still like stuck to the tomato. You know, it's almost like I'm making like a little tomato flour. Oh my gosh, sorry, the camera is. And we just keep making these slices.
Cut like almost all the way through.
Yeah. So what it looks like now is like this. Yeah, looks good. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna rotate it. So like I did with the parsley, now you're gonna rotate it. So instead of the lines being like the way you cut it, now the lines should be, oh, I guess I should just give directional. The lines should be horizontal. So they should be laying sideways instead of like forwards. And you're gonna like cross cut the tomato. So the lines are like this, and I'm gonna be cutting along this edge of the tomato surface. So you're gonna sort of make it into more diced pieces this way, but don't cut all the way through. Again, try not to. If you did already, that's okay, but try to still keep it on the tomato. And yet this gets a little tricky near the end of the tomato, so just be really careful, again, of your hands and your fingers and where the knife is going. It's so cute, it's almost like a little rose. Great job, guys. And the very last step is you turn the tomato on its side. And you start slicing down it, and this time you actually cut fully through. So I'm gonna start doing that. So you cut like this. And you're gonna really wanna use the piece that hasn't been cut all the way through as an anchor to hold the tomato together, because it's gonna kind of bend as you do it. So yeah. And I'm just kind of like reinforcing the lines that I did before because it didn't cut as far down as I wanted it to the first time, which happens sometimes. Okay, and we're just gonna keep slicing it. Ooh. You might have some bigger pieces, and we're gonna come back and kind of like loosely chop the bigger pieces up to make them about the same size. But like I said before, I know I'm repeating myself, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know? Ooh, slippery little guy. I'm gonna go this way. And you kind of want to like spread your tomato around. I see that this section has a lot of really nicely diced sections, and this section, the pieces are a little bigger. So if you see those bigger pieces, just go ahead and try to make them the same size, you know? Again, not an exact science over here. Just, you know, cut them in half. I have a little piece, like a few pieces like this of the skin that are kind of like longer. They got stuck together, that's okay. Give it a little chop. This is a nice, like, I don't know what the word is, like more rare experience for me because I usually don't cook with these kind of tomatoes. I usually actually cook with cherry tomatoes. I don't know why I like them so much, but I do. Or I guess grape tomatoes too. So it's usually like,
I do not like tomatoes, but I just finished, and one reason I hate tomatoes is because it's so gooey and
Same.
slimy and
Same over here. Same about tomatoes over here. I do not like tomatoes. I used to like them, but now I don't.
I'm gonna add these. Yeah, I understand about the tomato kind of, the tomato goo thing. I do like tomatoes roasted a lot. That kind of like can change the flavor. But I do also like some fresh tomatoes. This looks so good. Okay. Tomato juice is a little bit everywhere, but that's okay. We love a messy kitchen sometimes, as long as we clean it up afterwards. And we're gonna do the next tomato now. So again, same process. Get the little stem, give it a slice off. And again, we're gonna do these cuts pretty far down, but not all the way through. Just slicing away. We have a side view. Okay, and we're gonna go the next direction. Again, we rotate it. And we cut it into like a little grid type of thing. And we'll see if Ruby can do this last piece without cutting her fingers off. And we'll only talk in the third person from now on. Okay. It's like a little rose that's ready to go. And we turn it on its side again. And we go down. This is fun, guys. I think I'm gonna, the next time I cook, even though I'm not gonna be on a Zoom call, I think I'm just gonna start like monologuing, like to no one in particular about like whatever I'm cooking. This is really fun, honestly. I hope you guys are having a good time too. And again, I'm gonna kind of run my knife through these pieces that didn't get cut far down enough, which is okay. It happens.
Yeah, I actually tend to talk to myself a little bit while I'm cooking, so it's actually nicer to be on the Zoom call because I'm always talking to somebody else and not just myself.
I like that. I don't usually talk to myself when I'm cooking, to be honest. I don't know why that is, because I feel like a lot of times if you're cooking like sauteing something, like the oil is really loud and you can't really hear what's going on so much to like have a great conversation with someone else. Plus you're like busy attending to whatever food you're cooking. New habit. I'm gonna start chatting to myself when I cook more. Okay. These slices are like a little bit bigger than the last tomato, but again, it's all good. I'm just running my knife through some of the bigger pieces that I see that didn't get completely chopped up the right way we want it to.
I'm done, and I've mixed it together. I've mixed the cucumber tomato together.
Great.
Did I add the parsley flakes? The dried parsley? Or not?
Can you sit tight for a second? Just because I think it's going to be better if you add some of like the dressing first and then you add some of the seasoning. So it's going to like stick together better if you add seasoning.
Are we doing a dressing?
Yeah. Okay, my second tomatoes are done. And they're
While waiting, what do I need for the dressing? Because I didn't know we were making a dressing.
Oh, just olive oil, salt, pepper, and lemon juice. And if you don't have a lemon on hand, that's actually okay. It's just you do need olive oil. Unless you want to just have like more of a salad thing and kind of season that, that's also okay. I'm gonna move the cutting board out of the way. Okay, I'm so excited. Look at this bowl. It is so full. This is very exciting. Is everyone with me?
Ruby, how did you get into cooking?
How did I get into cooking? That's a great question. I can't talk. Sorry guys. I don't really know if it was anything specifically. Oh, I guess actually it was. I really used to love watching like cooking videos. You know those like cooking, there are a lot of cooking accounts that post these really cool like close-up shot videos of just like someone's hands cooking on like, I first found them on Facebook actually, but there are accounts like it's called like Tasty or like Delish or like, yeah, that kind of stuff. And I found them on Instagram, like on my social medias, on my like computer and stuff. And it was so satisfying to watch people cook. And I would see all these recipes that looked so good. Oh, like I didn't really cook that much up until like maybe middle school. So that I got my first phone in 8th grade. And that's when I was like more on like the internet and being able to watch cooking videos and that kind of stuff. And just like seeing people cook was so cool. And I really wanted to try it. So I started cooking like a lot more in high school. And yeah, it's great.
Cool.
Are we ready for the next step?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna start mixing together my cucumbers and my tomatoes. This is a very overflowing bowl, but that's okay. Oh, and my parsley.
Ready to keep on going yet? We'll just.
Okay.
What's in the dressing also?
It is just gonna be lemon juice and olive oil, and then we're just gonna season it with salt and pepper.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mhm.
I just finished my salad.
Ooh. Worth the speed.
Avital, did you taste your salad to see if it tastes good? You want to show everybody?
What vegetables are in the salad?
Whoa.
Ooh. That looks amazing.
What
First of all,
vegetables are in the salad?
tomatoes are a fruit.
Can I show you guys my
Also,
salad?
cucumbers are also a fruit because they both have seeds.
This is my salad.
Wow, Ethan, that's impressive.
Yep,
Is it just cucumbers
I
and tomatoes in the salad?
I hate tomatoes, but I had to cut it up, and I felt the gooey. Ugh. So yeah.
Thank you for cutting them up, even though not your favorite texture. Oh my gosh, flying vegetables or fruits, excuse me. I'm just gonna break some of these pieces off with my hands because some of them are in bigger pieces. Or they, when I chop them up, they kind of stayed together, which is okay, but I want to eat this so badly. Okay, dry my hands off, mix again. Try to break up what we can with a spoon. And while you're mixing, just be mindful about the tomatoes, just because they're a little more gentle, a little more squishy than the cucumber. So you don't want to mash the tomatoes. That's not something we want. We don't want tomato ketchup or tomato sauce. We want little pieces of delicious tomato. Okay, I think mine is mixed up enough and, you know, cut up enough. Really trying to get my parsley. That happens sometimes. I get a little like excited when I mix. I get a little overzealous. Sometimes things fall out of my bowl onto the table, but.
So should I, when are we gonna do the dressing?
We are about to do the dressing.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to take your lemon, if you have it, and you're going to want to slice her in half. Give it a little slice. And we're just going to put the dressing right into the bowl. So you're going to take your lemon and you're just going to squeeze the juice, get all that fresh lemon juice over it. Lemon smells so good. My favorite thing to do with a lemon is to zest it. So you take this like fancy little grating tool and you kind of slice this yellow part off the sides if you guys haven't zested a lemon before, which I highly recommend in the future, doing like lemon cake or lemon squares. I love lemon so much. Okay, so you really want to get
I love lemon cake.
You love lemon cake? It's so delicious. Okay, and I got a seed in there by accident that I don't think we want that. So, okay. And now my hands are very wet, that is okay. And you're gonna just wanna start mixing it up. Get the lemon juice all combined. Give it a toss. I only used 1/2 of a lemon, but if you feel like yours isn't zesty enough for your liking, feel free to add more juice or add less juice.
I added lemon juice, so it's easier to do it.
We don't put lemon in ours.
That's what's great about cooking. Everyone can customize to what they like.
This lemon juice is good because instead of having to squeeze it, which takes more time, you just pour some, put it in, and then do it. And that's literally easy.
My hand smells so lemony. I love it. Okay, and we're gonna do some olive oil. I just said about like 2 to 3 tablespoons, but we might need a little bit more. We might need a little bit less. It kind of always depends on the size of the vegetables and how well you mix things. But I always say like a little bit of oil goes a long way. So I don't usually like to add too much, but I'm just gonna start out. That would be 1 tablespoon. And I'm just gonna start with 2 and see if I think that's enough, because over oiling usually isn't a good thing. My stomach is rumbling so much right now, guys. Like, I just want to take a giant bowl of this. Good thing it's almost done.
Yeah, I've definitely eaten half of my Israeli salad so far, but that's why I made a lot, because I knew I would eat some now and then some when we're all done cooking, when Ari makes the omelets.
Okay. And we're basically done. Final step, if you have dried parsley, now would be a good time to add it. I'm going to start salting it a little bit, add that salt and black pepper. This is also one of my favorite seasonings. Just grinding that black pepper. I could add so much of it. One time, I'm used to using a grind for black pepper and not just having it in a box, which sometimes it comes pre-ground in a box. And my friend and I were trying to make rice at her house. I'm not trying, we were making rice. That part went okay. But then we were seasoning it and I didn't really realize that it was pre-ground and it had a really big opening. So I just like poured the black pepper in and so much came out. It was maybe like 3 tablespoons, which like a tablespoon is a lot of black pepper. Probably more than that actually. And I didn't know black pepper would make something like that much black pepper would make it so spicy, but like we could not eat it. It was so spicy. Which sounds ridiculous because it's only black pepper, but like if you think about it, when you grind black pepper, you don't use that much. You grind like a little bit. It's probably not even like half of a teaspoon. But the instructions are always like a dash, you know? So beware of how spicy black pepper can be if you add like many tablespoons to your dish. All right, I think we're gonna taste her now and see if it needs any tweaks. But yeah, I feel like it might need a little bit more pepper. Not 3 tablespoons, but a little more. Let me grab a
I'm
spoon.
gonna have my dad taste it because he has an excellent taste of Israeli salads and stuff. He's a like professional cook. So
Oh, wow.
that's gonna be my chef taster.
The pressure is on for the chef taster. All right. Moment of
My
truth.
chef teacher is my mom, because my mom's right behind me. My dad's somewhere else.
How is it? How'd you do?
I think I'm gonna add a little more olive oil though.
All right.
About half of a tablespoon. Perfect.
My dad's great at making foods. He just said that it needs more salt and more pepper and more olive juice and lemon juice. So he adds some lemon juice. I'm gonna add the salt. And yeah.
Mine did a little more salt and a little more pepper too. Okay, I don't want to get a new spoon, so I'm gonna like dump it onto my eating spoon. It is perfect. We do a chef's kiss. And then have to wash our hands. Didn't
If you're
think
trying to be a Swedish chef, it's like this. Mwah!
that.
It's Italian, but wait, Dad.
No.
The it's me, Mama. Do it!
Like everyone was saying, make any accommodations you like to your dish. More salt, more pepper, more parsley, less parsley. Do your thing. It's all about making it to your liking and your tastes. Mine is like just how I like it. So, if it needs more olive oil, more lemon juice.
I'm making my family's vegetable for dinner.
Ooh.
I'm making my family's dinner basically. So I'm making this for my family. Because look how big the bowl is. This fits our whole family because we have like 6 kids.
That is great. Making dinner, supporting the family. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Big shout out.
Because like, why make so much if you're not gonna eat it?
Of course.
Mine is for my family too, because this is how much I have.
I know. Look at this bowl of tomatoes. Like my mom and dad maybe have to use like some really cool tomatoes. And now I'm on the cucumber right now because I had to get changed.
Right. People are finishing up my Israeli salad. I think it's good to go.
Jeffrey, can you please come again? What?
Does anyone like grow vegetables or like herbs at their house? That's something I've always wanted to do, and I don't do that. Yeah, Avital?
My brother is growing vegetables hydroponically in his bedroom,
That's
and we have
awesome.
in our backyard.
That is amazing. I would love to grow vegetables. Actually, I think I want to, like, when I eventually am done with college and I don't live with my family anymore, I want to live in a city somewhere. I'm not sure which city yet, but I'll get back to you guys on that one. And I would love to have like a balcony. That's really important, so I can like have a little, like city, little urban vegetable garden. That is like my dream of the future.
We have an indoor garden on our windowsill in our kitchen. So we grow like lettuce and celery and stuff. So when we're like, oh, we need to make the salad, we can like rip off a piece of lettuce. And we always take the bottoms of the like heads of lettuce or heads of stuff, or like the bottoms of carrots, and we grow them. And so now we have like, wait.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys all enjoyed making your salads. Right now we're going to get started on making omelets. So take a minute, clean up from making the salad, you're going to need eggs, salt and pepper, cheese, and some butter. Plus whatever else you want to put into your omelet.
I don't like omelets, and plus I'm also still making my salad, so that's good.
And you can hang out and make your salad while we work on this. Let me know when you guys are ready.
Just so you know, Ruby, I know you were asking about like who has a garden. Next summer at camp, every bunk is going to have its own garden, and that's going to be something really cool. So it'll have a little planter box outside of the door to each of the bunks, and the planter box will be sitting actually above the mailbox. So it'll be like a mailbox and a planter box for every cabin. And then part of what you do every day is you water your plants and harvest your herbs. So it'll be stuff like stuff for tea like mint and lemon verbena, and maybe some stuff for cooking food like basil and oregano and rosemary. So any suggestions for plants, just let us know. Can everyone give a thumbs up if you're ready for the next
A
activity?
suggestion for plants.
Oh yeah, let's hear it, Ethan.
Rosemary.
Rosemary, definitely. Is that what you have growing?
Yes, we have one. And thyme, lavender, and wildflowers.
Wow.
Sage.
Yeah, you should definitely bring them to camp.
And celery. And lettuce. And bok choy. Which is all what my mom said.
All right, should we get started? Thumbs up if you're ready.
Sorry about the noise. Yeah.
All right, Ari, take it away.
Okay. So the first thing we have to do is crack each of the eggs into a cup and then put it into the bowl. The reason we do this is to check if there's any blood, because if there is, we can't use it. I also put a paper towel down underneath the cup because usually it makes a mess when I'm cracking eggs, and it makes cleaning up a lot easier if I already have something there. So I'm using 3 eggs, but you're welcome to use 1 or 2, as many as you want. All right, once you have your eggs cracked into your bowl, you're going to take a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper and sprinkle it on there. I'm also adding a little garlic powder, but you do not have to. Once you do that, you're going to mix it up. And then we're going to move over to the stove. So you want to turn it on to medium-high heat. Add a little bit of butter. And to start, just mix it around so you get butter over the bottom of the pan.
Hey, Ari, did everyone already crack their eggs? Did we check in with everyone? Ethan, did you crack your eggs already? Kleins, did you crack your eggs already?
We're not making an omelet. We're just watching right now.
Okay.
But
All right, cool.
All right, solid. If anyone needs another minute, this can wait. So let me know. All right, cool. Once the butter,
Need another minute.
you need a minute?
Yeah.
All right, then we will wait. Let me know when you're ready, okay?
Ready.
All right, perfect. Did you do the butter already?
I did olive oil.
All right, that works just as well. It's actually healthier. All right, so once
Butter has fat. Olive oil doesn't.
that's why it's healthier. So then you pour your egg in. Should spread out pretty evenly. And we're just gonna let it cook for a minute. Once it starts to bubble, then you know that it is hardening on the bottom. And what you're gonna wanna do is lift the edges so that the liquid on top can pour underneath for the salt. We're not doing it yet, but we will in a little bit.
I call it a flipper, where you flip it over.
You don't wanna flip the whole thing. You just wanna lift one corner and tilt the pan so that the egg can get underneath. Also, if you start to get little pockets of air, you might want to break them because it stops you from getting those pockets in your food. All right, I'm turning my heat down a little bit because I don't want to burn the omelet. All right, now we just gotta let it cook for a minute. Once you are ready for the next step,
Wait, when it bubbles, what do you do?
if it starts to bubble, you just want to poke it with whatever spatula you're using so that the bubble opens and the air comes out. That way you don't get air pockets in your omelet. All right, cool. So my omelet is ready for the next step. Yours might not yet be because everyone's stoves cook at different speeds. But this part is adding your ingredients. I'm only using cheese because I like my omelets to be simpler. So what you do is you put it along one side, kind of in the middle. Whoa. And then you're gonna flip the other end over it. You don't want to put it too in the middle because then some of it will fall, but you don't want to put it right on the edge or the omelet won't stick. And then you just let it cook for another minute. I always add a little extra cheese on top. And then you're pretty much done and it's ready to eat.
I'm jealous of Ari's omelet. It looks like so delicious.
What do you guys think?
Well, Ari, we might have to have you run our kitchen this summer.
I think I will be a little busy for that, but I'm happy to help run my chef again.
Can I be the assistant chef?
I would love for you to be my assistant chef. That would be so much fun.
Yay!
Anything ready?
All right, as always, the most important part of making food is cleaning up.